Hi, my name is Ronny, and I come from Copper Village in Zanin. I started Scout when I was 14 years old in 2004 with a small group of around 14, 14 Scouts. And currently I'm 21 years old, and I'm studying at Ronny University of Technology, doing my third year, which is my last year with the National Diploma in Computer Studies, which is mostly called IT. And I've learned a lot of things in Scouts. Especially Scouts have helped me grow in different parts of my life. And Scouts have changed my life a lot.
How have Scouts changed you?
Well, Scouts have changed me because in my teenage days before I joined Scout in 2004, I was involved in different things that are bad, of course, that are not good. I was engaged in gambling, street gambling. I was also drinking at an early age, sleeping around at an early age, and a lot of bad things have been happening through my life before I joined Scout. But just after I joined Scout, I've learned a lot, and Scout have developed me to be a good citizen. Also, in my leadership, Scout have developed my leadership skills, and a lot of things that have happened through my life. Have changed my life pretty well in Scout.
Okay, what made the difference? What made you decide to change? And try and keep the dream in there too.
Well, what have helped me to change in Scouts, it's looking at the laws and promise that are used in Scouts. The principles in Scouting have helped me to change my life because as we've been doing the Scouting activities, learning all those things that are in the Scouting Trail and the Scouting for Boys book, have changed my life because I've realized that the life I was living was far more different from the life that the Scouts were living. So that is what influenced me to change my mind, especially because with my past life and the laws and promise that I've been taught in Scout have changed me because I was taught to be a better person in Scout. I was taught to live a better life. I was taught to live with other people because those are the kind of things that I couldn't do before I joined Scout. But just after I joined Scout, with all those, I have changed, and also meeting different people with different advices in Scouts, having had people to advise me, to guide me through everything in my life helped me a lot.
So, why was it important for you to change your behaviour?
Okay, the importance of me changing my behavior was because I've looked at the way I was living, and the importance of me changing my behavior was because outside there I had friends who were way older than me, and they were misleading me in a way until I found friends in Scout who were like guiding me to live a better life, and all the principles of Scouting guiding me again to live a better life. I've decided to change my life and live by the Scouts way, and live the Scouts way because I've then realized that what was left for me was then to drop out of school, because all the things that I've been doing have been guiding me have been driving me away from school, away from actually have been guiding me, driving me away from better living to doing bad things. So I've changed my life because Scouts have changed my life because
Might be worth talking about things like what you had to look forward to if you continued that life. Criminal activities, I mean, you started talking about it. I remember with your thing, HIV being something. And you need to mention Keep the Dream in there somewhere.
Yeah. But Keep the Dream came in 2007, right?
Sorry?
Keep the Dream came 3 years after, was it 3 or 4 years?
No, Keep the Dream instigated Scouts. We started Scouts in the province. Well, apart from Brian.
Can you pause it?
No,
we'll
just keep
continue.
going.
Okay, just pause a question, please. I mean, pose a question.
I'll pose a question. So what sort of negative things were you getting into?
Okay, the sorts of negative things that I was getting into was drinking at an early age, sleeping around. I was also breaking into my parents' house, trying to get every little money that I could find in the house, just to go and play dice, go gamble out there, and also go buy smoke or buy booze and all those things. Those are the kind of bad things that I was involved in before I joined Scouts. So those kind of things, what was left for me to, if I kept on doing all those things, was I was gonna end up dying. Maybe I was gonna end up being killed in the taverns or out where we were gambling, because the gambling we were doing was illegal. We were just doing it in the streets and with different people carrying different weapons under the influence of different substances. I was gonna end up being killed, or I was gonna end up dying of AIDS, because I was also sleeping around at an early age, sleeping around with different girls, any girl I could come across. So those are the kind of things that I got involved in.
What do you think is the key reason that you decided that to live a Scout life was the right thing?
Well, the kind of things that influenced me to know that, I mean, to get to understand that living a Scout life was a good thing, was because I met different people in Scouts, different people from Keep the Dream. I met Louis, Zabi, who were like parents to me, guiding me in different angles of my life. Also with friends whom I met out there trying to live better life, and with the life that I've seen from those other guys who got involved in Scouting before I got involved, were living a better life than I was living in the streets, as well as that life of drinking at an early age. Like I thought like living a Scout life would be a best thing ever, and of course it has been a best thing ever, because I got to learn different things in Scouts. I got to do better things. Like Scout kept me busy so that I could even forget about going out and start doing those gambling things and start doing all those bad things I got involved in.
What are the better things that you're talking about?
Okay, well, the better things that I'm talking about is, for instance, we were taught to live better with other people. We were taught to be a friend to a friend to every other Scout whom we came across. We were taught to like, these better things that I'm talking about is like with the whole ways of the whole principles of living, like the whole ways of better living. I don't know how I can explain it.
How do you feel about yourself now?
Well, I feel so proud of myself now, because I'm able of doing anything I want to do. Like I usually call myself a jack of all trades, but a master of none. because of Scouts. Like, if I wasn't involved in Scouts, I was not gonna be able to do what I'm able of doing now. I am capable of thinking creatively, so I am able of doing things that other people can't do. I am able of thinking better than other people who are not involved in Scout can do. And I'm also able of taking care of myself. I'm also able of living from the little that I have. So that's one thing those are the things that make me proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself now because I'm a Scout, and I'm also able of helping other people.
What sort of skills has Scouts given you?
A lot of skills Scouts have given me. Now, I'm able of creating anything from nothing at all. I'm able of like the skills, leadership skills. I've got a lot of leadership skills in me. I've learned a lot of things. Like, for instance, I have learned to do diving. I have learned scuba diving. I have learned mountain climbing, rock climbing in Scouts. A lot of things I've learned in Scouts.
Okay, I'll probably edit that part because you're the only one that's had those opportunities.
Yeah.
Okay. I want you to talk about your training skills, teaching other children and youth and even adults about Food for Life, HIV, running Scouts, all the first aid, all those sorts of things, those sorts of skills. So what skills has Scouts taught you?
Skills that Scout taught me, like now I have better facilitating skills, I may say, because I'm...
Okay, start again.
Okay. Scout have taught me skills like teaching skills, like I'm able of teaching adults and youth in different skills, like first aid. I'm able of teaching adults about first aid, which is the basic first aid.
Okay, relax, take a deep breath. Look at me. We're just having a conversation. Leave the camera, just look at me.
Okay, I'm just afraid of my eyes looking up.
I'll make you look at me. All right.
Okay.
You can move your eyes around. It's fine. Occasionally look at the camera, but focus on me so that we're just having a conversation, all right?
Okay.
So, Ronny, what skills have you been taught?
Okay, the skills that I've been taught in Scouts are, I have been taught to be a good instructor in training, like training the adults and youth during the adult seminars, the youth seminars, during Scout camps, during the Warren Coast camps. I'm able of teaching Scouts to do different scouting skills like knots, lashings, also the basic first aid training. Those are the skills that I got from Scouts, as well as teaching the Scouts to... what else?
Okay, first aid, Food for Life.
Yes. HIV and AIDS, Food for Life, first aid, pioneering, talking of lashings and the basic knots that I'm teaching the Scouters to go teach back to the Scouts, as well as teaching Scouts on how to make tents, on how to prepare their own meal, a lot of different things that I have learned from Scouts.
Okay. I want you to talk about being a role model to younger children and how that makes you feel.
Well, being a role model.
And also about your friends back in Corporal, the ones that weren't in what do they do? Okay. Ronny, your friends that didn't join Scouts, the ones that you hung around when you were 14, the ones that were drinking and gambling, where are they now?
Well, those friends that I had before I joined Scout, a lot of them are no longer my friends now because I'm no longer living the life that they were living. A lot of them, I don't even know where they are now. because I don't get to spend much time with them. And now I see myself as a better person compared to them, because I'm still looking as young as I am now, but most of them are looking like older than they are supposed to be, because of the things they got involved in, the things that I was also involved in, but I just chose to change and start living a scout life. That's why now I am also a role model to other scouts, because as they are looking at me, they see me as somebody with potential of doing things they can't do. Somebody who's got the potential to teaching them, like all the scouts in Zanin, more than 1,500 scouts. I'm a role model of them, because they are seeing me as that good leader, that person who's giving them the skills that they need, who's teaching them things that they need to know.
Okay, just for your information, it's 2,700 now.
Oh, yes.
That's all right. So how do you feel about the future now?
Well,
Oh, sorry, just to go back to your friends. Okay, I'm going to pause.